Hello, everyone. Marcus James again. So this week we talked about chapter 5 and 6, and that was the IT infrastructure and data management chapters. They really dived into what goes on behind the scenes of the IT infrastructure, what includes the infrastructure, and then on top of the infrastructure, how can we capture the data management? So is our SQL, our reporting tools, putting data into spaces to have visuals, dashboards, everything like that. So that would be the data management piece. And it really got me thinking about what this looks like outside of the textbook for our class as a whole and myself as well. So tied to the real world, I looked at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and I will be calling it BLS for short in this video. But specifically their profile on computer and information system managers. So it really talked about how you can become a computer or information system manager and what it takes and what that look like. It outlines what these roles actually do, the education and experience needed, and where the field is needed, which was some really interesting information. For someone like me working as an EHR manager, and I'm currently in my master's program, as we all know, and I'm chasing the management of information systems program, this felt like a clear bridge between where I am and where I wanted to go. The article itself was pretty detailed on what you need to become, you know what I'm saying, information system manager. And then the chapter itself, 5 and 6, talked about the backbone of the IT infrastructure and data management, which can help you become a system manager, computer manager of that sort. So let's just dive into it. So to talk about the BLS article, and then I will be using CIS, so Computer Information System Manager. But according to the BLS, CIS managers do way more than just keep systems running, so keeping their lights on, as I like to say. They plan an IT strategy, manage infrastructure, and lead tech teams. And they also make sure that the system is actually supporting the organization goals and what this looks like for the organization as a whole. And as an EHR manager, I am able to do that with the EHR that we currently have in the mental health realm, and I'm able to see, what are we using, what are we streamlining, what don't we need for the system anymore, and what can we continue to grow on and possibly get from the vendor for our organization. So it's a leadership role, not just technical. Most of these positions require a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years of experience. But more and more employers are preferring a master's, especially in MIS or something similar, which is the path that I'm on now. I believe that will open the doors for me as I eventually want to get to the CIO realm, the Chief Information Officer for an organization. So this BLS article was very, very helpful. And to dive into the chapters, so connecting IT infrastructure to the emerging IT we have today, the chapter really lays out layers of IT infrastructure. So the hardware, software, the data, networks, and services. It also walks through how things like cloud computing, virtualization, and edge computing are reshaping how organizations work today. And there are so many different resources and vendors, I should say, out there that specialize in these specific things in our healthcare IT realm. So it was a lot of information there. And I can just say in my day-to-day as an EHR manager, I already deal with decisions like, do we keep this interface engine in-house or migrate it to the cloud? But most of our clinical informations systems are cloud. We only have about one that's currently working on a server. It's very small, and we manage it in house. But that's more so of us. Do we want to get rid of the server, or do we want to have everything in the cloud? Which I think the cloud is a better option because you can go, from room to room, door to door. With the cloud server, you're kind of just stuck into one space within the organization. And these are the kind of decisions that the CIS managers will make on a day-to-day basis, but on a larger scale with more at stake. So we're talking about these huge organizations that have these leaders in place making critical decisions on a day-by-day process. The chapter sections on the total cost of ownership, and this is really what made me interested in this chapter, talking about total cost of ownership. So how much are we actually spending on all of our information system technology, however we want to put it? How much are we spending on this, and what is the ROI on this, or what is the return on this? How are we bridging those gaps that we needed for this system? Are we using underlying systems that we don't need? Does everyone know how to use all of our systems? Do they have access to the systems that we have? And this is what I have on a day-to-day basis. Just processes of making sure that we can streamline our information to rely on the organization's goal. And that's what this chapter was really talking about. And then just going into chapter 6 to connecting the data management and business intelligence. And I also have a strong passion for this as well, as I make reports on a daily basis. I meet with quality managers, I meet with COOs, so clinical operations, program managers, things like that. And they need continuous reports. So we are a nonprofit organization. We are funded by the state with some of our grants. So they need those reports. And this is where that data management and business intelligence can come in. But the chapter 6 dives in the world of the data. So how it's structured, stored, and turned into insights. It covers relational databases, data warehouses, no business intelligence tools. Like we have something called IQ, and that's basically us having a dictator or a note that the provider can just talk into the computer, and it does that information for them. So they don't have to sit there and actually type with the client. They're actually face-to-face engaging with the client and things like that. And then we have a bunch of different dashboards that we can create. And this is what the chapter 6 was really talking about. So right now I'm already working on analysis and things like I mentioned to make sure that that data is flowing through our EHR, is accurate, secure, relatable, and useful. But as the CIS manager level, it's just not about clean data. It's about putting systems in place to govern and secure and make the organization as a whole work with the specific data that we want to secure. And that's the kind of mindset and difference that I've seen between the article, the chapter, and my real world experience that I have on a day-to-day. But my career path from the EHR manager to the CIS manager, it really stood out for me is that how it all aligned. And the CIS manager role is where I already am, but I can continue to grow and make sure that I'm making the best decisions for this organization or any other current organization or future organization that I will be working with. And I feel like this program is strengthening my skills in areas like budgeting, cybersecurity, and leadership, as it just shows me different things that I can see on a day-to-day basis. I also seen a YouTube video of how CIOs, which is the route that I want to go, are not just technical anymore. It's more about learning everything outside of technology as well. And this is what the BLS article talked about, is just being able to be relatable to people, being able to put those business and organization goals and ideas into technology, understanding the workflows, understanding who needs, rights or privileges, or what provider is going to do this, or what CPT code needs to be attached to this, or what data put or section needs to be on this dashboard for this report. So I definitely think that it was a great read. So to wrap it up, chapters 5 and 6 gave us the foundation of how systems and data work. The BLS profile shows what it looks like to lead those systems on a more strategic level. And once again, I am happy to answer any questions or concerns that you have with this video in the discussion post. And I look forward to seeing your responses as I put in mine for yours as well. Thank you.